Beginner's Yoga. Today we are going to focus on side angle pose. The previous weeks we focused on triangle, warrior two. Now we're going to put it all together because side angle pose, in my opinion, side angle pose is a combination of triangle and warrior two put together. So we'll begin with some pneumomuscular stretching, warm up a little bit with some sun salutations, some more stretching, and then we'll see if we can land the best side angle pose ever. And let's see what happens. I've got my notes here to keep me on track so we don't go down too many rabbit holes. Let's begin lying on our backs, please. Any way you can, just nice, easy on your back. Bring your knees to your chest. Hold on to your knees, or you can hold on under your knees. And we begin with what Mark Rifkind calls pneumomuscular stretching. So pneumo because of the breathing, muscular because of the muscles, and we synchronize the breath with the stretching. Breathing in and out through your nose. We inhale for about 4 or 5 seconds. Exhale for about 4 or 5 seconds. And when you're ready to begin, inhale, pull your knees towards your chest, about 4 seconds. Exhale, move your knees away from your chest, about 4 seconds. And we'll repeat this a few times. This first stretch is really just kind of gentle, loosening up the low back, loosening up the glutes. It might also help to loosen up the hamstrings a little bit. It's just an easy way, and a gentle way to begin preparing the body for the more vigorous stretches or the more vigorous yoga poses as they come up. Side angle in particular for today. And just do your best to synchronize. Exhale as you bring your knees to your chest. Inhale as you move your knees away. Let's do one more exhale. One more inhale. And let's gently roll over to our sides and come up to a seated position. Next up is the butterfly, or the cobbler's pose, or however we want to think of it. Make sure you use your ankle bones. Grab on with your hands to your ankle bones to make sure one, that you're keeping your knees safe, but also just to help you adjust. Now, side angle pose, as you know, the bottom half is warrior two. So warrior two, we've got to work on an inner thigh stretch, and this helps. If sitting in butterfly, just like this, if it's too much of a strain, if there's too much resistance in your inner thighs, use your muscles to lift your knees a little bit. Or you might need to lift your knees a lot. The key to stretching, the key to mobility is you don't want to go too far too soon. You have to stay in a place that may not be super comfortable, but if it's so uncomfortable that we're grinding our teeth or stressing our brains, we will never get the flexibility we want. So phase one, we just sit in butterfly. If it's too stressful on your inner thighs, you bring your knees up. If you're okay, and you can let your knees kind of flop open, we hang out and breathe here. Really just 4 or 5 breaths. If you've done yin yoga, you know that you can sit in a passive stretch like this up to 5 minutes and you're fine. Now phase 2, if we can muster it, is going to be the pneumomuscular stretching. So as we exhale, bring the knees up about 4 seconds. And as you inhale, you pull your knees down about 4 seconds. And just repeat a few times. Inhale, pull your knees down, even if it's only an inch. If you don't have full range of motion, that's okay. But once you start to get the opposing muscle groups to work together, which is what we're doing here, you may find that you get increased range of motion, less stiffness, maybe even less pain, or a combination of any of those three. The key is don't force. That's the key. And the gentle rhythmic breathing, inhale 4 seconds up, exhale 4 or 5 seconds down. It will help send a signal to your brain that this new range of motion is safe. And when your brain receives that, your range of motion will increase. All things being equal. Good. Now, the next time your knees are up, let's see if we can straighten our legs. I'm going to sit sideways a little bit here. We're going to take our feet kind of wide. You don't have to do a super wide gymnastics splits, but just get our feet far enough away from each other that hopefully you can sit up tall. If you can't quite sit up tall, put a yoga block or 2 or 3 under your hips, or a pillow or something. You might need to bend your knees a tiny little bit. That'll take some of the tension out of your hamstrings. The goal is to sit up tall. Similar in scope to the butterfly stretch. If sitting up tall with your legs like this is enough, stay here. Don't move. There's no shame in your game. Just keep breathing until you feel the stress come out of your low back and maybe your hamstrings. If you are able to move, we're going to try the pneumomuscular stretching. And here's what we try. We inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, hinge forward about 4 seconds. And then inhale, sit up again. About 4 seconds. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale. And we repeat this a couple of times. As you're repeating this, if you're following along with me, make sure that you're moving from your hips. You should feel your hips kind of roll forward. And you should feel your hips roll backward. Almost like a half wheel or a quarter of a wheel. If you're not feeling your pelvis move around, then you need to stop, slow down, and just work on gradually, slowly moving. Because chances are you're just flexing and extending your spine. It's not wrong or bad, but the goal is to get the pelvis to roll forward and backward in order that we can free up our hamstrings, our low back, and our glutes. Just a couple more. And next time you're sitting up, pause. Good. Now we're going to turn to the left leg. Same thing as before. If turning towards the left leg is putting enough tension on your muscles and you feeling stiff may not be the right word, but if it feels like enough of an effort to just sit up, turn to your left and breathe, stay here. Don't go any further. Eventually, practicing just sitting up tall and rotating, your muscles will start to loosen up. If you feel pretty free, ready to go, bring your hands to the ground. You might even bring your hands to your left thigh. Inhale, about 4 seconds. Exhale, about 4 seconds. Hinge forward. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. The pneumomuscular stretching should be smooth, even, like an ocean wave. No grunting, no coughing, no gulping, no strain. So if you observe, look at my face, hopefully you notice I'm not grinding my teeth or squinting my eyes. Breath, vocalizations, all that stuff is smooth and easy. Even if you only move an inch, if you move an inch forward and backward, that's going to serve you better than forcing your way deeper and deeper into a stretch when your body is not receptive. Now if we can, let's turn to the other leg. Sit up tall. Please remember, always sit up tall. Then we'll turn a little bit. If this is it for you, stay here and breathe. If you can, stack your hands on your right thigh. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale. About 4 seconds up. About 4 seconds down. And here we're just loosening up the calves, hamstrings, glutes, the low back. We're trying to free up the hip, front, back, and side, so that we'll have the best side angle pose ever. Steady breathing. Remember, keep it smooth, even, soft. Should be very, very gentle. And just notice if you get slightly deeper into the stretch. Let's do one more. Sit up tall. Nice. Let's use our hands. Bring our legs together. If it feels like you need to, you can grab onto your leg muscles and just kind of wobble your legs around. Get rid of any residual tension. Just easy. And as gracefully as possible, we'll come to a standing position. Any old way possible. Nice. And let's get into mountain pose, please. Just to get a feel for our posture. Just to see how those simple stretches may have made mountain pose more accessible. Spread your toes out wide, please. Make your toes really long. Your feet are about hip width apart. Tone your legs, about 20%. Tuck your pelvis under. Pull your Kegel muscles up. Shoulders down. Shoulder blades towards your spine. Make your arms straight, please. And breathe. And just notice if you feel balanced left and right, front and back. If it's easier to maintain mountain pose. One more inhale, please. Exhale and release with a sigh. Good. I'll turn sideways. We're going to keep warming up. This is a half sun salutation. Face the short end of the mat if you want to. I turn sideways so you can see the technique, but you don't have to turn sideways for the half sun salutation. Double check and correct your feet, your toes, legs, hips, arms, shoulder blades. Mountain pose. Inhale, please. Exhale. On your next inhale, bring your arms straight up overhead for the extended arms mountain pose. Hold here and breathe here, please. You're trying to make your elbows straight, shoulders down, shoulder blades towards your spine. Toning your legs, glutes, Kegel contractions. One more inhale. As we exhale, hands come through heart center. Touch the front of your thighs. Bend your knees slightly. Rearward shift. Your hands will more or less find your kneecaps. And you're trying to lift your tailbone so that you can tone your low back muscles. And you want to lift your chest bone, lift your collarbone so that your entire spine, up and down, left and right, your entire spine is toned. One more inhale. Exhale, tone your legs and come directly to mountain pose. Breathe here. Now this is a posterior pelvic tilt. So you want to feel your abs tilting your pelvis backwards. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, arms up overhead, extended arms mountain pose. Breathe. Straight elbows, straight fingers. Your shoulders are down and working towards your spine. And you're trying to work your arms to be more and more in line with your ears. One more inhale. Exhale, hands come through heart center. Touch the front of your thighs, bend your knees, rearward shift. The anterior tilt tilts your pelvis forward. So the front of your pelvis rolls forward. And that's what tones your low back muscles. The opposite of mountain pose. One more inhale. Keep lifting your chest. Keep lifting your collarbones. Exhale. Tone your legs. Back to mountain pose, please. Shoulders down, shoulder blades towards your spine. Big breath in. Big breath out. Last round. Inhale. Arms up overhead. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Hands come through heart center. Touch the front of your thighs. Bend your knees slightly. Keep lifting your chest. Rearward shift. 3, 2, 1. Stand straight up, please. Tuck your pelvis under. Big inhale. Big exhale. Release with a sigh. Good. So now we're getting warmer, getting ready. Let's take our feet wide, please. And we're going to find the inner thigh muscles. I believe it was either Tom Myers or it was Jill Miller, at least where I heard it from, was the idea of a front seam, side seam, inside seam, back seam. Just a ways of navigating the body. So here we're going to try to find tension on the inside seam of your left leg. So how do we do that? Swing your hips to your right. Hands to your hips. Swing your hips to the right. And hopefully you begin to feel a stretch on your inside seam. Breathe here. If you don't quite feel a sensation, push a little bit with your left hand, just a tiny little bit. Breathe. This is what the rear leg and side angle should feel like. You'll feel a little bit of an inside seam stretch there. Breathe with me. 3, 2, 1. Come back to center. Inhale. Exhale. Swing your hips to your left. We're trying to feel an inside seam stretch here. Breathe. Just nice and easy. If you don't quite feel a sensation on the inner thigh, push just a little bit with your right hand, just a tiny little bit. Steady breathing. One more inhale. Exhale, back to center. Okay, now we're going to do kind of a funny looking stretch because we want to get the inside seam of one leg and the outside seam of the other side, the arm and the ribs. Here we go. Let's swing our hips to the right. Use your right hand, swing your hips to your left. No, I got it wrong the first time. Hips go to the right. Left hand comes to the left side. So you want to feel that stretch on the inside left seam. Now, it's your right arm. It's going to be on your side. And you just raise it forward as if you're going to shake someone's hand. But keep raising, keep raising, keep raising until your biceps touch your ear. Now, we're going to bend towards your... Do I get this right? Take 2. So you have the stretch here on your left inner thigh. It's your left arm that comes up. I beg your pardon. So your left arm is going to come up, just like you're shaking someone's hand. Bicep comes to your ear. And now you bend to your right. So your hips are going to your right, and you are bending to your right. Biceps are close to your ear, and you're feeling a side stretch on the left side of your body, and you're feeling an inner thigh stretch on your left thigh. Keep your arms straight. One more inhale. Exhale, unwind. That's a lot to take in, and it helps if the teacher would teach it correctly, so I apologize for that. Let's see if we can do it on the correct side. We'll do it correctly on the opposite side. Drive your hips to your left. So we got that part. Your right inner thigh should be feeling a stretch or some tension. Okay. It's your right arm that's going to come up as if you're shaking someone's hand. You just keep reaching up, 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 up. And now bend toward your left. So your right side is getting a stretch, and your right inner thigh is getting a stretch. It's a little awkward, but this is what side angle will feel like on the rear leg and the top arm. It's going to feel like this. One more inhale. Exhale back to center. Good. And let's toe heel our feet together. If you're feeling any residual tensions or feels like you just need to kind of reset a little bit, shake yourself out. We're almost there. We're almost to getting our best side angle pose ever. From this position, from our mountain pose, more or less, let's turn our feet out And we try for the sumo squat. Now, sumo squat, you keep your chest lifted, turn your feet out a little bit, and bend your knees. And go slowly, go really slowly. It doesn't matter how far you squat. What matters is keeping your chest up and keeping your knees more or less over your ankles. Okay? So this little sort of quarter squat is sufficient. This is fine. You don't have to go any further. Just work on keeping your knees over your ankles and work on staying upright. Keeping yourself upright is what's going to stretch your hips. If you let yourself tilt forward, you're just keeping your hips tighter and tighter. Now, if you can, if you want to, you can start to shimmy your feet apart. You can squat a little lower. I've got my hands on my thighs just for a little bit of support. But the key is you got to keep your knees over your ankle bones and you have to be upright. If as you start to squat lower and lower, you start to lean forward, you need to stop, back up, find that spot where you can be as upright as possible. That uprightedness is what's going to open up your hips, the inner thighs. This is what your front legs should feel like in side angle pose. We know what the back leg feels like. We know what the top arm should feel like. Now we know what the front leg should feel like. This is kind of like the butterfly position times 100. So really trying to open up the inner thighs and strengthen both legs. One more inhale. One more exhale. Tone your muscles and stand up. Good. And we'll toe heel our feet together. Nice. If it feels like you need to shake the legs loose, please do. Next up is tree pose. Tree pose is going to teach us how to kind of integrate using the glutes, toning the legs, using the abs. We don't have to balance here. Balance isn't the goal. The goal is to utilize the hips, to utilize the glutes to open up the hips. Bring your feet together, please. Put all the weight into your right leg. Bend your left knee. You can hold here. Wait till you're stable. Then turn your left knee out. This is the key. If you take the backs of your hands and put them on your glutes, you want to feel both glutes toned. Turning your knee to open the hip, you have to use your glute. Now, if you want to, you can bring your foot up to the calf. You just hold and breathe. Balance is not the goal here. The goal is to get the glutes working, big time. Because we want the glutes working in side angle pose. Hold here and breathe. 3, keep working the glutes. 2, 1. Both feet down, both hands down. Good. Let's try on the other side. Feet together. Put all the weight into your left leg. Bend your right knee, please. Wait until you're stable. Turn your right knee out, and that should be working your right glute. Use the backs of your hands. Put them on your back pockets and make sure you feel both glutes working. If you want to, bring your foot up to your calf, but keep working the glutes. That's the key. Once we get into the side angle pose, more or less we want to feel the same action in our glutes, in our hips, and in our abs. It should be a strengthening position. One more inhale. Exhale. Point your knee forward, both feet down. Good. Now, just a quick review on how to place the arms, and then we'll put it all together. When we get into the extended side angle pose, You start with your top arm, let's say, on your torso. And you just reach forward as if you're going to shake someone's hand. So the thumb points up toward the ceiling. You just keep raising up. It's called flexing your shoulder. So you're flexing your shoulder. That's it. It's just a straight line. From your torso, you reach up. The biceps is trying to graze your ears, or your temple, or your eyebrows here. So you keep it kind of close, elbow straight. This is what the top arm will feel like in side angle pose, here. Good. Awesome. Now let's see if we can put it all together and make the best side angle pose we've ever experienced in our lives. Take your feet wide, please. And notice, even here in starting position, does it feel easier? Do you have more range of motion? Less stiffness? Less pain? Be mindful. If you are a little wider than usual, be mindful. You're going to need a little more strength than usual to get you in and out of the pose safely. So be mindful here. Let's keep the left leg pointing forward. We'll turn the right leg out about 90 degrees. Just like warrior two. Hands to your hips. Inhale. As you exhale, bend your front knee. So you can hear and see that I kind of shuffle around, make sure everything is set up properly. Your front leg should more or less feel like the sumo squat. Your rear leg should more or less feel like those lateral bends for the hips. From here, bring your arms up. Turn your hands away, hands to a T. Inhale. As you exhale, reach out over your front thigh. Now, if you can, you bend your elbow and rest your forearm on your thigh. If you cannot, you can just karate chop your arm down. It's going to require a little more strength. That's okay. Now your top arm, leave it out to a T if you want. Or, just like we did a second ago, arm on the torso and just reach it forward. Reach it forward. Your biceps are going to scrape your eyebrows or your temples or your ears. And here we go. Extended side angle pose and breathe. Make sure you feel that inner thigh stretch on your rear leg. Make sure the front leg more or less feels like the sumo squat. Hang in here and breathe. 3, 2, tone every muscle you have. Exhale, warrior two. Straighten your front leg, drop your arms. Excellent. Let's go to the other side. Right leg points forward. Left leg turns out about 90 degrees. Hands to your hips. Inhale. As you exhale, bend your front leg. Doing the toe scrunch method to make sure my knee of the front leg stays right above the ankle of my front leg. Your front leg should feel like the sumo squat. Your rear leg should feel like the lateral hip stretch. Arms up overhead. Turn your hands away. Exhale, hands to a T. Inhale. As you exhale, reach out over your front leg. When you feel stuck, set that arm up the way you did on the other side. Top arm can be a T, or reach forward like you're shaking someone's hand. Biceps will scrape the side of your face, maybe your temple, maybe your ear. Breathe. Feel that inside seam stretch on the back leg. Front leg should feel like a sumo squat. Steady breathing. 3, 2, 1. Tone every muscle in your body. Exhale. Warrior two. Straighten your front leg and drop your arms. Excellent. Let's toe heel our feet together, please. If you're feeling tight, just shake out a little bit, just getting rid of any muscle tension, resetting your nerves, resetting your muscles. Let's do mountain pose, please. Another postural reset. Double check and correct your feet. Tone your legs. Posterior pelvic tilt to the hips. Pull your shoulders down. Arms straight. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Breathe. And notice if this mountain pose feels different than the very first mountain pose. One more inhale. Exhale with a sigh. Release. Good. Let's do one more standing pose just for fun. We've already done a balance pose, warrior two, side angle. Let's do triangle just for fun. Let's see if triangle feels totally different now. Let's bring our feet wide, please. Legs toned, and let's turn our legs and our feet to the left. So the rear leg will go in at about 30 degrees, front leg goes out about 90 degrees. Hands to your hips. Inhale. As you exhale, let your front hand touch your front thigh. Swing your hips to your left. To your right. You're swinging your hips to your right. Place your bottom hand wherever it's going to go and set your top hand wherever it's going to go. Now in this case, we should feel an inner thigh stretch on that front leg. So keep swinging your hips to the right. You're contracting the hip muscles on the left side to get the hips to swing to the right. Open your chest. Push your hips forward. 3, 2, 1. Tone every muscle in your body. Exhale. Hands to a T. And drop your arms. Good. Let's turn our feet to the opposite side. 90 degrees on your right leg. 30 degrees on your left leg. Hands to your hips. Inhale. As you exhale, swing your hips to your left. This time it really is to your left. Once you are where you are, place that bottom hand wherever it goes. Top hand to a T. Don't worry too much about how far down your bottom hand goes. Concentrate on the technique. Keep swinging your hips to your left. Breathe. Keep toning your legs. Keep pushing your hips forward a little bit. One more inhale. Find an exhale. Tone every muscle in your body. Come up to a T. Drop your arms. Just relax. Good. And we'll toe heel our feet together, about hip width apart. Last time, shake out any residual tension you may feel. You can take your hands, you can actually wobble your muscles if you need to. You can make light fists, tenderize your muscles if you need to. And just easy. Good. One more mountain pose, please. Then we'll take it to the ground and work on some breathing. Double check and correct your toes, legs, hips, shoulders down, shoulder blades towards your spine, arms straight. Steady breathing. The best mountain pose of the day right now. Supercharge it with your attention and your breath. One more inhale. One more exhale. Let go with a sigh. Nice work. Let's come down to a seated position. Any way you can. Doesn't matter to me. Just matters that you come down safely. And let's sit cross-legged if that's possible. I'm going to grab my phone so we can have a metronome. The metronome is just going to help us be honest with the rhythm of our breathing. Here's what we're trying to do. First, we're just trying to sit up tall. It helps if you put blocks under your hips, or pillows under your hips, or blankets under your hips. Generally, we want to sit with our hips higher than our knees. If you do it cross-legged, put a pillow or two under your hips. You can also sit in a position that's called seiza. If your knees, feet, toes can tolerate it, here your hips are automatically above your knees. So this is a very good position. If you can tolerate it, this is a very good position to practice breath work. So either or, whenever you're set, let's just go through a couple of stages of breathing and then we'll start the yogic breath. Stage 1 is breathing in and out through your nose. Just breathing normally, in and out through your nose. Nasal breathing helps purify the air. It helps regulate the air, moisturize the air, warm up the air, so it doesn't affect your lungs. Cold, dry air can irritate your lungs. Warm, moist air helps soothe your lungs. The second phase, if it's possible, when you inhale, you feel your tummy expand. When you exhale, you feel your tummy drop. You're trying to keep your shoulders still. You don't want to use the muscles of the neck or of the upper shoulders to help with respiration. Not too much, not all the time. We're really just trying to get the breath into the deeper lobes of the lungs. Now, if that's impossible or becomes overwhelming, just always go back to nasal breathing. Now, the third phase is we try to breathe in a rhythm. We'll start with 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. That's an 8-second cycle. So that gives us about 7 breaths per minute, 7 or 8 breaths per minute, depending on how it goes. Most people can start pretty easily with 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. Here's what we try. Each click is 1 second. I'll count it out as we go. So first, just breathe normally. Exhale normally. And we'll begin. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. 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 In, out, in, out, in, out, and resume normal breathing. That should have been about a minute, and that was about 7 or 8 breaths. As strange as it sounds, the goal is to try to breathe less and less. And that's because of the favorable chemical reactions that happen in your bloodstream, your pH levels, etc. Now, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out was sufficient. Stay there. Now we'll try to breathe 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. When you're ready, breathe in normal through your nose. Breathe out normal through your nose. Let's begin. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, out, in, out, in, out. And resume normal breathing. Now, over time, with a steady and consistent breath work practice, you will train yourself under normal circumstances to breathe less and less. The average person tends to breathe somewhere 20 breaths per second. And that's a very heightened, stressful breath pattern. That's a lot. You're breathing a lot. And it's usually very shallow up into the upper lobes of the lungs. And that's a very stressful state in which to be. When you slow your breathing down, you soothe your nervous system, you lower stress levels, you lower the flight or fight response. Anyhow, do your best, be consistent with breath work, and reap the benefits. Now, if it's possible, let's sit cross-legged. If you are already in a cross-legged position, just switch the crisscross applesauce. And now we'll try a seated twist with the metronome. We try to keep 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, or 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out while we're rotating. Okay? So here we go. Make sure you're sitting up tall. Make sure your hips are more or less level. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Twist to your left, 3, 4. Find your twist. Now every time you inhale, 4 seconds. Every time you exhale, try to turn just a little more. It will be harder to breathe because you're taking the mobility out of your breathing mechanism. But that's where the breath control comes in. And that's why you're trying 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. One more inhale. Now as you exhale, slowly unwind and face forward. And just notice whatever there is to notice. When you breathe against that resistance, when you're breathing against the twist, it's helping to strengthen the muscles for breathing. Diaphragm, intercostals, some of the other muscles like the latissimus, even the the levators of the shoulders. It helps strengthen the mechanism so that when you take that resistance off, hopefully you have more mobility. You might even have a little more vital capacity. So notice that when you come out of the spinal rotations. Now from here, let's switch the crisscross applesauce. We'll get the metronome going again. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. Inhale. Exhale, turn to your right. 3, 4. Set up your twist. And now breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Every time you inhale, you're trying to extend your spine. And every time you exhale, you're trying to turn your ribs. It's not forceful. It's not violent. But it is effortful. You've got to put a little more effort into it. You've got to concentrate a little bit more on the breathing and the rhythm. Of course, if you ever feel overwhelmed, just stop and breathe normally. One more inhale. Exhale, unwind about as slowly as possible. Hands to your knees. And again, just feel what there is to feel. Notice what there is to notice. And try to notice the very little microscopic, seemingly insignificant things. That's where the magic happens. That's the seed that grows exponentially. One more inhale. One more exhale. And let's sit lengthwise. Try to sit up tall if you can. You can grab onto your leg muscles with your hands, just kind of wobble them around a little bit. Still breathing in and out through the nose to the best of your ability. Just wobbling everything kind of loose. Try not to do any extra stretches or any other mobility. Just shake up what you got. Awesome. Let's lie flat on our backs, please. And we'll end as we began. Just nice and easy. Knees on your chest, more or less. Hands on your knees or hands under your knees. Double check that your hips are square, spine is straight, shoulders are square. Nasal breathing. Maybe now you have a new rhythm. Maybe now you can breathe 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. Or not. Find what works for you. Find your exhale. Gently pull your knees to your chest. Inhale, knees move away. Exhale, knees to chest. Inhale, move away. And again, just try to find a slow, consistent rhythm, just like ocean waves. And gentle, very gentle. You're just trying to gently coax out a little bit more range of motion, a little more freedom, and just hopefully a lot less pain and a lot less stiffness. Good. Next time your knees are away from your chest, let one foot touch the ground, let the other foot touch the ground. Let one leg go straight, let the other leg go straight, please. Bring your arms by your side, palms face up. Close your eyes, please. Inhale slowly. Feel your tummy, chest, throat. Exhale with a sound. Slowly inhale. Exhale with a sound. Now let's lie silently for about 1 minute. Keep your eyes closed as you start to come back. Wake up your toes, wake up your fingers. Just start to breathe normally again. Start to feel grounded, start to feel focused. And bring your knees up to your chest one last time. And put a big smile on your face. Even a big fake smile will gain you the same benefits of a real big, genuine smile. Your brain doesn't know the difference, but you get the same benefits. Feel-good hormones, and you turn up all the benefits of your practice. It's like turning up the volume dial. Muscle tone, turn up the volume by smiling. Increased blood circulation, turn up the volume by smiling. Stronger bones, turn up the volume by smiling. Now, still smiling, still breathing, let's roll over to one side. Make a little pillow with your hands if you like. Still smiling and still breathing. If you have all the time in the world, stay here as long as you can. Really just soak in all the benefits. In the interest of time, come on up to a seated position. Gentle, easy, non-dramatic. And let's sit up tall. Double check your hips. Make sure they're even. Lift your spine. You want to extend your spine. Bring your hands together. Rub your palms together. With your hands in prayer position, bring your thumbnails to your chest bone. With your eyes open or closed, let's take one last inhale together. Exhale together. Namaste.